Hello again, this is Randy back in the shop today. My cutting tool for cutting the 5-pitch acme thread finally came. I had to modify that because it came with a 1-inch shank, so I had to make it fit my tool holders because my tool holders only fit up to a 5/8 shank cutter, so I had to machine that down to get that to fit. And I did a little test run with it and it seemed to work okay, just to see how it worked, and seems to be okay. I've never cut an acme thread before, so I thought I'd give it a test run just to see how it worked. And how you figure the depth of your thread is you take your pitch and you divide that into 1 inch, which gives you 200 thousandths, and you divide that in 2, which leaves you with 100, and then you add 10 thousandths to it, so the proper depth of the thread has got to be 110 thousandths deep but when you're finished. And I got that piece of drill rod, 3/4 inch drill rod in the lathe in the collet chuck, and you need to have your compound set at 14.5 degrees, not at 29 degrees, but 14.5, because the cutter here is actually a 29-degree included angle, so half of that is 14.5. So I got that all set up, and I'm going to take and face that piece and put a center in it, and then we'll get ready to cut it. I'm making use of the lathe spider that I made to hold this end of this shaft so it doesn't wobble around. Because it was flopping around. So first time I've actually used that on this machine. Okay, now I gotta loosen this chuck up. I gotta pull this out a ways. Might have to loosen that spider up a little bit. The old lead screw is 11.5 inches long. Push this back in a little bit here. That'll be good. Right there. Tighten it down good. All right, gotta move over 11.5 inches here, and I'm gonna cut a thread relief in it. Right there. Here we go. Alright, let's get it ready to cut this thing. Okay, here we go. Number 5. Wait for a number to come around. All right, I'll bring you guys back. Well, there we are. The new lead screw is all done. I started having some trouble. I got them down to about 20 thousandths to go with it chattering all the time. And so I ended up taking like 1,000th a pass to keep it from chattering. But I think that'll work. I think it turned out pretty good. And you can see I'm almost down to my depth here by the relief that I cut. I'm about 10 thousandths short of the actual total depth, but I decided to stop. I didn't want to screw it up, so that was actually my second attempt. This one here, I got almost to the end, and for some reason it started cutting off, and I don't know why. Almost like something had moved. I didn't find anything, so that's why I just parted it off at my thread relief, and I started over, but I don't know what happened. This one here was almost done, and all of a sudden it like it was off, like something moved. And I had marked the material in the chuck, in the collet, so I know that didn't move. I don't know what happened, but it was basically the same setup as what I did with that one on the second one, and the second one turned out good, so I don't know. But them things happen, and that's why I didn't complete this end here. That's why I didn't machine this, because if I screwed it up, I had enough length, I could just part it off and start over, and then I'll have enough material left to do this end. So what I'm going to start on now is doing the brass nut. So that'll be coming up. I got to machine this outer diameter to size and bore a hole in it, and I'm going to part it to length, and then we'll start machining the inside thread to fit the new lead screw. So all right, I got this piece of brass machined down. I got it in the chuck, and I made a few passes on it just to see how it was going to work. It seems to be okay. I'll make a pass here so you can see it cutting, and then I'll bring it back when I'm getting close. It's really hard for me to see, let alone for you to see. I get this up there. See the end of my tool, and advance at about 3 thousandths here. Wait for a number to come around. Ah, shoot. Dadgummit. right, I'll bring it back when I'm getting close. Well, let's see what happens here. It fits. Yeah. There's absolutely no movement there whatsoever. What a relief. All right. This part is done. Now all I got to do is machine this end to fit the fit the grinder, and I got to put a keyway in it and thread the end. All right, I got the shaft back in the collet chuck. I got to face the end and then put a center in it, and then we're gonna turn. We're going to turn this portion and put this relief in for a lock screw, and then I got to thread it and then put the keyway in. I measured back 5.6 inches. I'm going to put a mark here. Disengage the lead screw. There we go. to turn that down to 437, I believe. So if I find my micrometer, I put it away. Yep. $738. Get this other shaft here to mic this here. See what size this shaft is. Uh, 433. Okay. Should be the last pass right here. Well, let's see how it came out here. Tooth out under. Yeah. Yeah, actually a thousandths under. So we're good. All right. I'm going to chamfer this end. I think I'm just going to take a threading die and I'm just going to thread it with a die. And then I got to put this in the mill, cut the keyway in it, and this part will be done. Well, here's my completed part. The end is threaded. I milled the slot in it for the keyway, put the relief in it for the lock screw. So let's get this put together. Got a couple ball bearings in this part here. This slides in here like that. And we'll put the keyway on here. Just like that. And our hand wheel. And the nut. And this part's all assembled. And here's the new brass nut. I installed it in that part that bolts to the bottom of the table. And I dimpled the hole. There's a set screw that goes in there, but before I put the set screw in, I took a drill bit and I dimpled the brass nut so that locks it in place. And I also drilled the hole for the oil. So now that lead screw is going to get oil every time when you oil that ball oiler, it'll get some oil. So let's head on over to the machine and get this put on. All right, let's get ready to install our lead screw here. A little shot of oil. I installed the brass nut already. I'd take that table back off to get that put on. There we go. All right. Oh, let me grab a socket here. Try this again.
Right back.
is tight. That one's tight. Tighten the bottom one here. All right. Tighten these two down here. All right. Just a little bit of shot of oil. Here we go. It's a little bit snug. Absolutely no end play in that thing at all. Way better than 125 thousandths I had before. It's got a couple little tight spots in it right there. But I think after it gets used a little bit, that'll work in. Never actually had these on before because that cover was off when I got it. It was just sitting on there. Here's that one. All right. Put this back on. Okay, got a couple bolts here that hold the actual cover on. Stick that in there. Beautiful. All right, and there's one more thing I got to do. Here yet. Right back. And that is, I got to put the nameplate back on. See if we get these back in place here. Get them all started here. I want to drop it, I'd never find it again. I was lucky to get these out because when they drilled the holes, they had drilled all the way through. So I found a little tiny punch and I just punched them back out the other way. Now if I get this back in there, I'll be doing good here. Ah. Where'd it go? There it is. On the floor. Yeah, I'll try a different one here. I'll try the one on the bottom corner here. Here we go. I think. Oh. Hang on, I'll be back. As soon as I turn the camera off, then they all start right away. Yep. There we go. All done. Except for a few little minor things. I got some thumb screws I gotta make. There's one here and there's one in the elevation screw. I gotta make a tool you have to pull the hub off with. Other than that, I mean that's minor stuff. It's about ready for me to put the wheel back on it, true it up, and put the chuck back on it and see how it works. But that'll be coming up. Right, Harley? Right, boy? Well, that's going to be it for this part. The new lead screw and the lead screw nut is done. It's installed. It works. I got to make a puller yet for the hub, but I don't need to do that right away. I hope you enjoyed that. I have to admit it was a little bit stressful cutting this lead screw, especially when it's screwed up the first time. But it all worked out in the end, and my tool here for machining the brass nut, that worked well. I was trying to be as careful as I could because I didn't want to break it, because that's the only one I have. If that broke, that'd be it. I'd be stopped. I'd have to order another one. But it all worked out well. So that's going to be it for this part. There'll probably be more coming up. I'm going to put the wheel on it, get the chuck cleaned up, and make a few test runs with it to see how it works. And I'll bring you along. So hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.